Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that may or may not be 5 minutes. Today in the news, it's a holiday here in the States, so let's keep it light by talking about some fun stuff. You know what I mean? First off, Arcane won an Emmy for Outstanding Animated Program, which is pretty cool because, it was outstanding, and I can't wait to see more of it, and I'm just a huge fan. I'm not that big into League of Legends, but I like the show, so hey, there you go. What a great way to start the week. In other news, Silent Hill 2 remake leaks have the internet all abuzz. There have been all sorts of hints about what could be coming down the pipeline when it comes to Silent Hill. We've heard a lot. So when a leak of 3 screenshots from Silent Hill 2 comes out, in pretty low resolution, we might actually get some insight into what the game's gonna be. The screenshots all feature a third-person view of the protagonist, James, and in the first, he's standing in a room looking towards a messy window and desk. In the second, he's in this dark hallway lined with windows. And then, of course, the third one is a very familiar enemy from Silent Hill, one of those creepy-ass, yet somehow a little attractive nurses? Look, don't judge me! But according to Game Rant, industry insiders have said these are unfortunately not screenshots from any actively in-development project. Rather, they are demo screenshots created by what is described as an internal pitch from Bloober Team. They're a proof of concept showing what a potential Bloober Team Silent Hill 2 reboot would look like in motion. And while a remake of Silent Hill 2 would be fun, I can't help but think what makes it good is kind of its jankiness and the silly voice acting, and all that gives it a charm that I think we missed out. I mean, they've done it before. They've re-released Silent Hill 2, they updated some things, changed the voices, and it's good, but is it the same? I don't know. And while I think it would be cool that new players get to experience Silent Hill 2 in an updated, new console generation format, I'm more concerned and more interested in what the other things are. I know that Annapurna is working on a Silent Hill thing for Konami, and I know that there's another mainline Silent Hill coming. Those are the things I'm interested in. Speaking of things I'm interested in and keeping it light, there's an article over on Video Games Chronicle that I found very interesting. It's about Remaster versus Remake, and I figured, after the last thing we just covered, it might be fun to look into that, because this is a topic that comes up in gaming circles every once in a while, and I'd love to see when devs have a take on this thing as well, because they're the ones making the game, and they kind of define what it actually means. Well, when Night Dive CEO Stephen Kick did an interview with Video Games Chronicle, he took the time to elaborate on what he feels is the difference between a remaster and a remake. Based on the work we've done in the past, we've done a little bit of everything at this point. We've done what we like to call enhanced editions, where you're basically taking the original game, making it run on newer operating systems, and then adding some nice quality of life stuff, like widescreen support. Then we've got games like Shadow Man, which we consider a true remaster. We did all that quality of life stuff and got it running smoothly at 60 FPS, but then we did art on top of that, new textures, new models, and even went so far as to work with the original developers to implement stuff that got left on the cutting room floor. Finally, we've got System Shock, which is a ground-up remake. It's all brand new, it's still based on the original game, and is true to that as we can possibly keep it. So I think, to quickly summarize, an enhanced edition is something that you might find on GOG, which, by the way, shameless plug for GOG, a game that's old and has been tweaked a little bit so that it can work on a modern system. And then there is a remaster, which is taking an older game and sort of upgrading it a little bit and making it so it works on new systems or new computers or whatever, but also giving it better visuals or improving it in some way. And then there's Remake, which is from the ground up, remaking the whole game. You can expect changes and twists and adding things and that kind of stuff and making it more in line with what modern games are. I'm aware it's not the most groundbreaking topic, but I thought it was interesting. I love to talk about stuff like this, and it's nice to see when just, an interview isn't about something insane. It's just about hey, what's going on with you? Oh, by the way, remasters versus remakes. What's that about? Like that. I'm here for that sometimes, and I hope you are as well. Speaking of things you should be here for this week, it's time for releases. Tomorrow, the story-driven RPG steampunk tactics circus management game Circus Electrique takes the stage. When everyday Londoners turn into vicious killers, it's up to the Robo Circus to take back the town. But despite the chaos, you must also rebuild your circus as well, recruiting and training the most talented performers coming from all over the world. Someone call Dodger, because this looks right up her alley. Meanwhile, on the 8th, across the channel, Steel Rising brings La Resistance against legions of French automatons in this alternative reality action RPG. String together dodges, parries, jumps, and devastating attacks to fight your way through Alt Paris. Every fight will test your nerve and requires excellent discipline, because I hear they're letting you have cake and eat it too? Whew, I guess you're gonna have to bring some knives to cut with. And finally, on Friday, you're a kid, you're a squid now. It's time for Splatoon 3. The turf war is back with new stages and wild new weapons. Join the fight against unruly Octarians in the story mode and waves of bosses in Salmon Run. Splatfest is also back, and there's so much more to do. Lots of ink is gonna spray. Pick your teams, it's gonna be a blast. And that is it for this chill edition of 5 Minute Gaming News. Thank you again for all the support. It means the world to me. Making the way to 1 million. I believe it can happen. I believe it. No matter what, we're gonna get there. And it's all because of you, so thank you again. And that's it for me. See y'all tomorrow for another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News.